And welcome back. You're looking at live pictures of what is probably the South Stand here at Hong Kong Stadium. We are down to the last 3 matches of this year's tournament. All finals, the Shield final. In fact, I should say we're down to the last 4. The last one, of course, will be the Cup final between New Zealand and England. England having taken care of Samoa, New Zealand having defeated Fiji in their semi-finals. Both of those matches not surprisingly close as well. So coming up, first on the list after our entertainment break should be Kenya against Spain. Now that will be the Shield final. That's the competition that Hong Kong was playing in before, Hong Kong having lost 3 out of 3 on Friday night, and there are other 2 matches on Saturday. And Hong Kong are unable to progress past the quarterfinals of the Shield, losing out to China, who for their part were beaten by Kenya. Kenya into that final against Spain. Spain defeating newcomers Mexico. Mexico making a bit of history here by not only appearing for the first time, but also scoring their first try in the tournament despite some one-sided losses. They did manage to get over the line at one time. Zimbabwe progressing against Korea from the quarterfinals of the Shield, but in the end, no match for Spain. So that will be a Kenya-Spain Shield final. Those 2 sides last met on the 25th of May 2008. There was also a Shield final there, and Kenya lost that encounter 7-10. So again, building up toward the big one. Later on, we will also, just working our way through the draw, we'll have the bowl final between Japan and Canada. That will be our second match. It will be Kenya-Spain first, and they should be getting underway in about literally 2 minutes' time. So that'll be followed by the bowl final, Japan and Canada. Japan defeating the United States in the semi-finals there. Canada taking care of Wales, 24-17, that score. For the Canadians, completely outclassing Wales, who are the current Sevens world champions, winning that title in 2009. The top sides who didn't make it through to the latter stages of the draw, as we see the head-to-heads between Kenya and Spain there, which I mentioned before, 1-1 in the series so far. The teams that didn't progress in the Cup went into the plate final, and we now have our commentators up and running again in the booth, and they will pick it up here for this match, Kenya against Spain.
And here's Kenya. Strong team they've put out. This is their best lineup. Maybe Sydney Ashuria, number 1, might be called in for his speed. William Mbaka's bound to come off the bench. But this is a vastly experienced team with Kayangi, number 6's brother, number 11, Colin Njira, Gibson Wera Kahutia there in the centre, Bika Odema also in the centres of the field, and Lavano Sega, the expert kickoff man, who gives Kenya so many advantages in that area. But Spain have battled hard, coming to Hong Kong for the first time, and they've made a final, so that'll be pleasing for them. So this is their 6th outing, and they lost to South Africa, they lost to Wales, they beat Hong Kong, they beat Mexico, they beat Zimbabwe. So they've had 3 wins in a row. This is the best lineup Spain can put out here in Hong Kong. The referee is James Matthew of Scotland, and it's the Shield final, the first final of 4. And in many ways, it's rather surprising to see Kenya here, because in their time, they've been a finalist in the very top level of competition with most of these players. That was in Adelaide in 2009, when they played the final against South Africa and lost by 26-7. So they've been an IRB Sevens Tournament Cup final finalist. But their form has fallen away, and they're now here at the Shield final. Remember, there are 4 levels of final. The Shield is the first, then the plate, then the bowl, and finally the Cup. And if you just come to us, the Cup final will be between the 2 teams who are top of the IRB circuit, top equal after half of the season. Oh, lovely run here One Kano. He scored right there in the previous game when they were on against Zimbabwe, and he gets another one. So Spain, rather easy, wasn't it? Some of the defence a bit wayward there, and then a little bit of space, and then we must mention, look at this flailing hands from Lavanasago rather than committed tackling, and that's been a disappointment for Kenya right through this tournament and in recent tournaments. Don't want to come down too hard on them, but they've had some glory days and they're not quite matching that now. There is the last conversion by Pedro Martin. Try scorer here, Juan Cano. This is rugby in France. Pedro Martin will go back to kick-off. His brother is there, number 7 and number 12. Nice kick floating high. Ooh, the Kenyans let it go, but it was lost forward rather than going out on the full. So it'll be a scrum there with Kenya having a chance. One thing we have to mention when you're looking at the finals, and we welcome in new audiences which has come in from all over the world for the playing of these finals. The ground is a bit slippery and treacherous. There was rain, misty, drizzly rain for not for long, but it's left the field a little bit slippy. Good effort by the new referee on the tour, James Matthew. He's got a final. That's pretty good for him. Here comes Biko Adima. Excellent tackle by Pablo Fiju. So can they move it out to the speedman? Here's Humphrey Kayangi. And that's Adongo. Easily picked there by his white leggings. This is nice passing, but not quite prepared to take it wide. Sego. Adongo. And there's the familiar figure of Gabrielle Lee. She's touch judge there. Referee's assistant, and called it correctly. They slid across near the corner.
Release.
Lovely kick away to touch. In tough times for Benjamin Ayimba and his team. Earlier in the circuit, they were disrupted by some prominent players not being cleared to come and play because of work commitments. Then there was university examinations. These are amateur players, so it's hard to get their team together, but they're all clear for the Hong Kong event, and it just hasn't quite worked out for them. But here they are, flashing the ball around. They're against a willing team in Spain, who are leading at the moment 7-0, 2.5 minutes to go. The Scottish accent of James Matthew there. Collins Injera, he gets so many tries with just that kind of form. And he's got another one. And that levels the try scoring up. The kick conversion may make the difference. What's the referee saying? It's no, they're saying that have a look at this again. The try's been disallowed. Now, there was a penalty in there. You can't jump into the tackle, says the referee. So that's the reason why that try was disallowed. Looked pretty good to me.
Go straight. Scrum called.
Humphrey Kayangi, great leader of the Kenyan team.
Time off.
So we're going to have a look at that try again with Collins Injera, this man's brother, and it's all about jumping into the tackle. Now look at this.
Crouch.
That's the next one. It's the next one, I think.
Pause. Engage.
It looks like he's ruled it was dangerous to be jumping out of the defence like that. The flying knees could cause injury. It's a rare one. Here's the same man in action at the 22. 7-0. Spain lead in the Shield final.
8 blue, no hands.
Kayangi, all the possession in the last minutes with Kenya. Asego, Injera finds his brother. I wonder how many times they did that growing up. It worked in the backyard, and it's going to work in this big backyard they're playing in now. Good defence, tenacious by Spain, especially Carlos Blanco, number 2, and that's not a bad idea to kick it away. It's very slippery, and the ball has bounced end over end 60 metres upfield, and with the clock ticking down to the end of the half, here's Kenya now with Laban Asego. They've got to build it up from the back. Leon Odongo, good chase up by the Spanish players. There's 4 of them there, and they've closed down the attack, but that means with 4 of them there's only 3 guarding the other space on the field, and it's a lovely open space to run into. Nice run there by Gibson Wero Kahutia, number 9. 7 is Biko Adema. There's the hooter for half-time. They'll get it and kick it out, and Spain will be happy with that. Well, that was a good save, but what a good kick to clear it all that way and take it out of the danger zone. Excellent effort, good understanding of the game by Spain and the time it takes to get the ball back down to the try line. And so they go to the half-time break in the lead. This is captain Humphrey Kayangi. Second half begins of the first of these finals. We know the big TV audience has kicked in. Sky Sport and TV New Zealand in New Zealand. Super Sport in South Africa. The Pacific represented by Samoa, Fiji and Tongan TV. Solomon Islands also. Sky Sport UK taking all matches today. Niue, little Niue, proud to have you on board. The Cook Islands as well. ESPN in Latin America and Mexico. Portugal, Eurosport and Fox Australia. Hello to all you in Australia, and a special welcome to NBC USA, who have joined us for the finals. It was great to be at your wonderful tournament in Las Vegas just a month ago, and to work with Brian Hightower and Gareth Rees and the commentary team up there. We had a great final up there between South Africa and Fiji. It was only a quarter-final here, that matchup. And it'll be New Zealand against England in the Cup final after this final, and 2 others have been completed. The crowd just taking a breath here on this final, the Shield final. It's final 4 in its status. Trying to burst away is Kayangi. In goes Blanco. That's a good tackle. Oh, space though. Lovely run in by Andrew Amonde.
Number 3, Kenya, Andrew Amonde.
So finally they're on the board. Kayangi got caught here. Some tough defence by Blanco, but they just made a little bit of a gap, and Amonde ran into it, and away he went to score. He's the 25-year-old from Nairobi, the Harlequins club there. Very prominent Kenyan club it is too. So the conversion is over. It's now 7-all. There's one of those towering kickoffs by Laban Asego. Just goes to that dotted line, which is where it must go from the restart. Juan Cano, the try scorer for Spain. Over halfway they come. This is good aggressive play. This is Ignacio Martin. Here they come again. Look for his brother down in the foreground, and he's got the ball. Pedro Martin, 20 metres out. Grasping the ball is just a little bit different with the dew and the rain, gentle rain that fell on the sitting on the grass surface. A few errors made by the Spanish. It's all tied up. 4 minutes to play. Kenya's had much more of the ball, and that's why that pass completed graphic is so much in their favour. But Spain have 1 try to match the try scored by Kenya. Asego to Biko Adema to Collins and Jerry. Now he's quick. He's likely to have a go if he could find space, but he decided against it. He was well covered by Pedro Martin. These passes are connecting, so that graphic we saw will have more added to it. Nice running here by Oscar Umut, who's come off the bench. Away from Amonde. Out to the Biko Adema. This looks like try time. And it is Biko Adema. He plays for the club popularly known back home as Nondis, which is short for the nondescripts. And he's easily recognisable with his headgear that he plays in. He was one of the guys affected by examinations for his studies, but he's over for the try there to give Kenya back the lead. Now he's going to have the shot for the conversion. So we look at the score, and it's now favouring Kenya by 5 points, but that means Spain, if they get a try and make the conversion, can still snatch this one out of the fire. 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go. And maybe a last look at the excellence of the kickoffs, which come from number 10 for Kenya, Asego. Just checking that the bounce will come to his boot cleanly. And he pops it up high. Look how the big, tall, lanky guys could get in for the jump. It was a pretty good effort on the jump by Collins and Gira, but it was lost forward. When the ball is forward, of course, it's a scrum. And looks like a substitution, just a gesture there to the sideline. And is this Injera? No, it might be Asego. Lavan Asego, looks like he's okay. Maybe there's a bit of cramping. These guys have played, this is their 6th game. And a pretty packed program, not much time to rest and recover and recuperate, but they keep coming back. Triumphs and disappointments along the way for each of these teams. The Kenyans had a shock loss to Russia on the first day. Then on the second day they beat Malaysia but lost to Fiji. Got a hammering from Fiji, 40-0, but have had 2 wins today. And are in the lead here. Martin caught by Kanyangi. Blanco away. Here comes Spain again. Great to see them in action. That's a good run by Pablo Fiju. Halfway line. Martin, Ignacio Martin. Good work here by Negrijo. Ignacio Martin. But they've got to get through, and the clock is ticking down inside the last minute, as you see. They're going to try it by hand, by foot. Loose ball, slippery ground. Blanco dives. Did he get it down? Let's look at the man in the white behind with the flag. He will shake his head or not when he talks with the referee.
The decision, please. Grounding by blue. Grounded by blue. Yes. Try. Yes. Thank you.
Try is awarded. Well, that is a critical call. A try is awarded to this man, Carlos Blanco. Carlos Blanco. Now, just to the eye, it didn't look like he did. There's the slippery ball, towed by Blanco, and then he has to chase before it gets into the dead ball area. He dives. You see, we've got the advantage of the replay. The judge there, right there, has ruled it as a try when you must have control of the ball in the motion of the try. You don't have to have downward pressure on it. That helps. And the conversion is just astray. So we have a tied-up game. And with just seconds remaining, we could go to extra time in this one. And extra time is certainly sudden death. They play until somebody scores a try, and that's game over. Substitution for Spain. Coming on as the speed man, Sydney Ashioya. So the last seconds of this game. A try must be scored by either side, or otherwise we go into cutthroat. The referee might blow for full time now that that ball's been lost, and he has. It's a draw. It's a draw, but there's 1 minute of turnaround time, and then the Shield final will be decided by one try. First team to score wins the Shield. Well, I wonder if the Kenyan team will feel aggrieved at their last decision. Benjamin Ayimba looking philosophical. It's not worthwhile in rushing onto the field to see it again. Let's have a look at that try again, played by Carlos Blanco. He's got to get control of the ball. There's his hand on it. But there's no way that's controlled. And you see the touch judge, his referee's assistant in the in-goal area was right there. So his view is perhaps different to what we've seen on the video replay. But there's no calling in of a television match official sitting in the grandstand. That's considered something which slow the game down. So it's made on the calls of the referees and his assistants. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. It's all part of the rub of the green. Referee James Matthews. A kick-off. Now we're into extra time. There it is. First team to score. It could be by penalty, it could be by drop goal, it could be by a try. Martin Heredia is on the field. So too is Marcus Poggi. They've made some changes to bring some fresh runners in. It's all about one scoring movement. Ignacio Martin is still there. So too is Carlos Blanco, who scored the last try to tie it all up. This is looking good for Spain. There's a man loose out wide, but it wasn't the pass that was slightly in front of him to make him run onto it. They still have possession. Those Kenyans have got real speed. A penalty. Now will they have a shot? They could have a shot for goal. You see, they're discussing it. They're discussing it. Pablo Feiju, a penalty kick in sevens is very rare, and he's signaled to the referee he will try for a penalty goal to win the game. I mentioned any of the scoring ways: a drop kick from the field, a penalty, or a try. So this decides the game. It also gives possession to Kenya. Let's look for the flags. It's a miss. So Kenya will restart with a dropout from the 22. So a moment of decision there for Spain. Juan Ignacio Inchausti, the man with the ID around his neck. There's nothing he can do now. He can just watch as Adema gives one of his very highest restarts, and the jump went off a Kenyan hand advantage, played back to Spain, so this is good for Spain. But in the tumble and the maul, the grasping, a penalty has been awarded for Kenya. Now they've got some good runners. They've got good men to guide it, like Asego. Here they are building it up nicely. Oscar Oma. Benedict Nyambu is on from the bench. So there's lots of fresh players out. Ashioya off the bench. Adema. Sudden death, extra time. Quickly taken penalty. Good to have Kayangi there, the guiding hand. "23 metres out. Change of direction to find the teammate. Look at that big pass. One of the Spanish players is down. So it's 7 against 6. And here's the man to make the win for Kenya. Sydney Ashioya. Try scored. Game over. The first of our 4 finals has gone to extra time. And big disappointment for Spain. But if we think about that controversial try late in the game that was awarded theirs when perhaps our replay showed that it wasn't, then maybe this is justice. That rugby ball, it bounces low, then it will hop up. And these guys know this only too well, so Ashioya was patient, got the bounce, scored the winner. once again, the good spirit of the players. They all have embraced and shaken hands with each other. And this is sad for Federico Negria. And we're going to go down to Willie Losay, a man on the field. Humphrey Kaiangi, a great ambassador for the game. He's one of the International Rugby Board's ambassadors for drug-free rugby all over the world. He didn't mention that they're very popular in Las Vegas. That's where they hit their biggest support base, apart from home, of course. And here comes the Spanish team going up to receive their runners-up trophies for this first Shield final. The presentation has been done for this one by Brian Stevenson, who's been involved with all of the Hong Kong Sevens tournaments. And there's Mr. Stevenson with Trevor Gregory just putting the mugs, the silver mugs in front of them. And this is a nice moment for Brian Stevenson, who's been a long-serving administrator with the Hong Kong Rugby Football Union. There goes the captain of Spain, Matthias Tudela, is the first man up, and the handshakes kick in. To the left is Brian Stevenson making the presentations to the runners-up in the Shield final. The man in the centre is Trevor Gregory, who's the current chairman of the Hong Kong Rugby Football Union, who put on such a wonderful tournament here. And yes, they're giving high fives to the fans, but there's smiles of well, resignation and disappointment. They wanted to win this one, wanted to win it very much, and gave a good account of themselves too. But here comes the winning team, Kenya. Some excellent players in their lineup. And as was said in the interview, this is perhaps not the trophy they wanted to win. Commemorative tankards for them. And they get the trophy. Captain Humphrey Kaiangi will take it. There it is, the big shining shield. It's a lovely trophy to have. It's the first of our 4 finals. So it's the 4th level of finals. And here are the winners of the Shield for 2011 at the Credit Suisse Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Sevens. They're all going to get their tankards and then turn to face the waiting media, who are going to take their photograph and beam their smiles all over the world. Congratulations go to Kenya, beating Spain in the final in extra time. So away they go. Happiness is a winning team. The next final will bring